We're here because free speech is under attack. We're here because people are being convinced that socialism works. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup. This is the raw, naked truth.
Indictments unsealed, China's espionage activity, Democrats call for debates, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lupkin, and here's the news you need to know. The full federal indictment against former President Donald Trump was unsealed Friday, charging the former president with 37 felony counts related to his alleged mishandling of classified documents. The indictment, helmed by special counsel Jack Smith, is a scathing accusation of national security mismanagement. The indictment alleges that Trump had a massive collection of boxes with classified information moved to his private residence at Mar-a-Lago as he left the White House. Photographic evidence included in the indictment showed piles of boxes throughout Mar-a-Lago, including boxes stacked halfway to the ceiling in a bathroom. Many of these documents contained highly sensitive defense and weapons capabilities information, according to the indictment. Trump commented, speaking at the Republican state conventions in Georgia and North Carolina. Trump blasted his indictment as a travesty of justice, claiming that it was the latest in a long line of witch hunts to try and sink his candidacy for 2024. He also pointed out that President Biden had stashed secret documents in Washington, D.C.'s Chinatown neighborhood. It has been established that Biden had classified documents in various locations, including an office shared with his son Hunter and his garage that was the location of an episode of Jay Leno's Garage, filmed while the classified documents were there. "I will never yield. I will never be detained," Trump concluded his statements. China has been using a spy base in Cuba to electronically track signals from nearby U.S. military installations. A Biden administration official stated the spy base was an issue that had been inherited from the previous Trump administration and that Biden was briefed on the base after taking office. Intelligence officials have confirmed the espionage operation, but said that there was no Chinese spy base in Cuba prior to the Biden administration. It was first reported this past Thursday that an agreement had been put in place by Cuba to allow China to build a spy facility on the island, though National Security Council spokesman John Kirby had said those reports were not accurate. A Cuban foreign minister tweeted that reports of the Chinese spy base in Cuba were slanderous speculation. Meanwhile, the United States has begun a $28 million renovation project at the American Embassy in Havana, Cuba, representing a major facelift for one of the island nation's key diplomatic attachés. Much of this funding will allegedly go towards improving the embassy's appearance, which had been neglected upon its reopening to Cubans seeking visas after a 5-year absence. This includes fixing rusted fences, damaged walls, and crumbling facades from hurricane damage. However, a large portion of funding also provides for an increase in consular staff and the creation of additional programs to advance human rights in Cuba, as well as support for private businesses in the communist-run country. Ted Kaczynski, a convicted terrorist known as the Unabomber, who created a 17-year trail of death and destruction, died in prison on Saturday. He was 81. Kaczynski died at a federal prison medical center in North Carolina. The cause of death has been revealed to be suicide. Born in Chicago, Kaczynski grew up a child prodigy in mathematics and earned a PhD before beginning to mail pipe bombs as part of his disdain for technology. Between 1978 and 1995, Kaczynski mailed or planted bombs that killed 3 Americans and injured almost 24 more, making him one of the most prolific terrorists in U.S. history. He was eventually captured in 1996 and sentenced to life imprisonment. A tanker truck fire shut down I-95 in both directions after an elevated portion of the heavily traveled interstate collapsed in Philadelphia on Sunday morning, state officials said, raising concerns about possible travel headaches throughout the Northeast. The Pennsylvania Department of Transportation said that the fire closed all lanes between exit 25 and exit 32, which includes Allegheny Avenue, Castor Avenue, Academy Road, and Linden Avenue. Philadelphia Fire Department Captain Derek Baumer said emergency crews responded shortly before 6:30 a.m. local time after receiving a report of the vehicle being on fire on the interstate. Authorities later identified the vehicle as a gasoline tanker truck that may have been carrying hundreds of gallons of gasoline. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg has not commented on the infrastructure failure. The collapse of the overpass is expected to keep that section of I-95 tied up for months. Rank-and-file Democrats want President Joe Biden to face off against insurgent Democratic candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and New Age guru Marianne Williamson. The Democratic National Committee decided last month it would not hold primary debates. 8 in 10 Democratic primary voters say in a USA Today Suffolk University poll they would like to see a series of Democratic debates during the 2024 campaign. That includes an overwhelming 72% of those supporting President Joe Biden. Another poll by Redfield and Wilton Strategies of 1,500 voters found that 68% of eligible voters believe the Democratic Party should host primary debates. Only 15% said they thought the Democrats should not hold debates. Biden's campaign co-chairwoman denied that the president is against debating. 70% of Americans said they did not want Biden seeking a second term. However, the president said last week that he felt up to the challenge of running as the oldest chief executive in American history. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of The Raw Naked Truth at xvadio.com/podcasts, the Apple Podcasts app, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Audible, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.